What's the good word, y'all? DKB here, and depending on how you are feeling coming off this very, very disappointing loss to the Patriots, this morning we get this enlightening news that there's a mega deal potentially on the horizon, and it looks like we are being matched up against the Miami Dolphins again, according to reports. I'm not talking about our Week 17 matchup. It looks like we may be targeting Bradley Chubb from the Denver Broncos to add to our arsenal defensive line weaponry, and this just screams the poor getting poorer, rich getting richer kind of situation, but it's also at face value a little difficult to entertain and think that this could particularly be true because according to the reports, the New York Jets would also be willing to consider parting with a first round pick in order to acquire Bradley Chubb. And honestly, that's probably somewhere along what it would take anyways. But Joe Douglas has always kept those closely guarded to his chest. And even though we've had an embarrassment of riches in these last two drafts in terms of players being productive, um, the defensive line is just one of those positions that feels like there's going to always, and Robert Saleh's mentioned this as much, be a ever evolving opportunity of trying to get the best player at all of these positions. And when you also think about it, we do have somewhat of an easy out to get out of not only Carl Lawson's contract, but Jonathan Franklin Myers' extension that he got isn't necessarily that crazy either. And Bradley Chubb is on the last year of his rookie deal. So at least for this year, we would get him extremely cheap. But it also mentioned in the report that any trade would also come with the guarantee that there's going to be a contract extension. So having those talks and things like that go into it, this would mean that not only do we have Quentin Williams, who we would need to work out, and according to those reports as well, we're looking to extend before the season ends, but this could be our new pairing. We could ideally be taking a look at a Quentin Williams, John Franklin Myers, Bradley Chubb, and maybe like a Carl Lawson lineup, and then sprinkling in a Jermaine Johnson the second still, Michael Clemens, Nathan Shepard looks like he could find another way to stick around. There's still a lot of pieces, but I think a lot of people would sign up for that. Bradley Chubb has been amazing in his limited time. I mean, really one of the biggest knocks on him is that he hasn't been healthy all of the time in order to consistently support his team. He's missed 24 of 73 games. He has been healthy this season, though, which has been a bit of a rarity for him. But why not take the opportunity on a guy that can blow the top off of any offensive line on any given play? I mean, the guy has the third best pass rush win rate. When we take a look at some of his major, statistical outputs, 26 sacks including this season, 6 forced fumbles, 58 quarterback hits. I mean, we love our quarterback pressures. 33 tackles for loss. I mean, the pass rush win rate is really one of those things that hit home for me. But I mean, his rookie year, he comes into the season, he comes into the NFL, and I want to say it was 12 and a half sacks. It might have just been 12 on the dot. But he puts up double digit totals. He gets 7.5 during his all pro season in 2020. And he's already looking at 5.5 this season. So at the young age of 26, we would be getting this guy right in his prime. I'd expect it probably be something similar to a Quentin Williams, a 4 or 5 year contract, somewhere in that like $21 to $22 million range. So $22 million per year, by the way. But I don't know how I feel. I think I would love it moving forward, but that also is a lot of money to lock up into the defensive line, and we know that we're struggling on the offensive line. We know we may still need to go and take a look at some of our offensive weaponry with Elijah Moore not being factored heavily into the passing game, and then we also still have the turmoil with him not being frustrated with his usage. We'll just call it that. So either way, this is huge news. If it does go through, it'll be crazy. And at this point, I'm all for adding elite players whenever we can. So I guess I'll just chalk it up to that. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Would you relish us acquiring Bradley Chubb, especially considering it would be over our rivals, the Miami Dolphins? Or is this something where you want to stray away from? And if we're going to sacrifice a first-round pick, we go and we try to acquire an offensive tackle. Looking forward to the comments, and I'll see you guys again. Peace.